just say yes, it is visible or no. I have shared one notepad. Is it visible to all of you?
Not yet, sir.
Not yet. Anybody? To all of you, nobody is seeing this screen, notepad screen?
No, sir.
No?
No, sir.
Now? Now? Now also? No? Oh, yes.
Yes, sir.
Now you can see. Okay, fine. Everybody can see, no?
Yes, sir.
Everybody? Okay. Who cannot see? Just tell me, otherwise I will start. Everybody is seeing this screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, uh, first of all, I'm writing some name of some companies. Okay. They are, and you have to tell me what are these. Or you must have come across these names of these companies. Right? Apple. You have seen
Yes, sir.
Google. I think each one of us must have heard or seen these companies, right? And then
Yes,
Microsoft.
sir.
The very first question, who will not like to work here? Can you tell me who will not like to work here?
Nobody, sir.
Nobody. Yes, that's the right answer. Nobody will say, no, I don't want to work in Apple or Google or Microsoft. Because why? Because they are giants, very big companies, right? They are the ranked #1 companies in the world. Not only, I mean, forget about India. In the world, they are #1 companies. Okay, very popular, high revenue generating companies. Now, yes, of course, to work all this in these companies, very difficult, not that easy. It's not a cakewalk. Everybody has to strive very hard to work in these three companies. Okay, fine. Let us forget these three companies. Now I am writing the few names of some few other companies, right? Okay, so you have heard this company?
Yes, sir. Deloitte.
Deloitte?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then 3M, right? Then P&G, Procter and Gamble used to call it once upon a time. Then there is Morgan Stanley, right?
Yes.
And there is many other companies. I can name it, like Kellogg's is another company. Okay. Then we have also Honda, another big company. So you will definitely like to work in these companies also, right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, you will definitely like. If not Apple, Google, Microsoft, definitely you will like to work in these companies. Okay. And then, of course, if you talk about India, then we will definitely like to work in Reliance or Tata or Birlas, right? So what the point I'm trying to make here is, what is common in all these companies? Can anybody say why you people will like to work in these companies, or what is common in these companies? They're all very um, big companies, very high revenue generating companies, good work environment and all this there. But what is common to all these companies is that all of these companies have something in common, and that is they all have implemented SAP. That is the beauty. So if you talk in terms of very big companies today in the world, they have all implemented SAP as on date. So if you are willing to work in these companies, the first condition, the first requirement, the first requisite is that you should know SAP. Without knowing SAP, you will not be able to enter into their premises. Very simple. They will not recruit you if you don't know SAP. Correct? So what I'm trying to say here is that you have all made a very right choice and right decision, and at a right moment, that you have opted for a course like SAP. So from today onwards, we will equip ourselves with all those skill sets that are required to learn SAP, and then we will move on to our respective modules where we want to specialize ourselves. As you said, somebody will like to do SD, somebody will like to do MM, and there may be financials, FICO, and all that. There will be so many other students are also there. Correct? So it is very, very essential today's time to know SAP if you really want to work in these companies. But that does not mean that sir इसके अलावा कोई company है ही नहीं क्या? Yes, you will be surprised to know that they have also implemented SAP. If not long ago, last 2-3 years, many Indian companies have also implemented SAP. So it has become all the more necessary, all the more essential that you should learn SAP to work in Indian companies also. Forget about these 3 Indian companies. Forget. Even smaller companies, they have also implemented SAP. And that's why in today, more and more people knowing SAP skill, SAP knowledge are being preferred in their organizations. So once again, I will say that you have made a right choice, a right decision, pursue SAP course. Okay. So that's the briefing I wanted to give in the beginning, that why SAP is very, very essential in today's time. Okay, now SAP is the largest software application generating company. SAP is the largest software generating company in the world today. Now, if I go to some statistics, अगर हम कुछ इसकी नंबर्स में जाएं तो हमको पता लग जाएगा कि SAP कितनी बड़ी कंपनी है. So SAP is not only the name of the software application, it is also the name of the company. SAP is the name of the company, and the software which it has developed, that the name of that software is also SAP. Okay. So what is very great about SAP company? %87 of the global 2000 companies. To understand the meaning of global 2000 companies, there is Fortune 500 global. These are the rankings set by this business across the world, that which companies ranks is where, like in the global if you are in this group, global 2000 companies, then you are considered to be very big company, very reputed companies, very good performing companies. So all these companies, Apple and all these, are global 2000 companies. Your ranking may be 1, your ranking may be 2000, but if you are in this 2000 group, then you are considered to be one of the best run companies in the world. Okay, so global 2000 companies. in this 2000 companies, 87% have already implemented SAP. 87%. Okay, so have already implemented SAP. So the question arises, what about balance 13%? So balance 13% are running with Oracle. With Oracle. Must have heard the name of Oracle software. Okay. So you can very clearly see from this statistics that the second best competitor in the world is nowhere near SAP. SAP is with 87% of the global 2000 Fortune companies, whereas only 13% is running with SAP. That means Oracle is far, far, far behind, nowhere near the competition. And it will take time to reach at this level. Today, if you are at 13%, then to reach here, it will take, see how many years it will take, maybe 10, 20, 50 years, nowhere near. So SAP continues to be the dominant player in the market. Okay. And more, it is continuing, more and more companies are now going for SAP. So SAP is really, really in a great position today, company-wise. How many countries are there in the world? Can anybody say? How many countries are there in the world today? Any idea? It is a GK knowledge question. Can anybody say? How many countries are there in the world? No?
Around
Nobody?
190 to 195 around.
Very good, very good. It is 195.
Yeah.
195 is the exact figure today. 195 countries. You'll be surprised to know that out of these 195 companies, 180 companies have SAP. They have implemented SAP. That means you can very well imagine that only 15 companies have not implemented SAP. Rest all have implemented, not companies, countries, I'm sorry. All countries have in their country, some companies are there, they have implemented SAP. Okay. Now, another statistics. In this 180 companies, again I'm saying company, I'm sorry. In this 180 countries, there are 293,000 companies. So in these 180 companies, in 180 countries, there are 293. This is approximate figure. Exactly, it cannot be mentioned. 293 companies are there who have already implemented SAP. So all over the world, as on today, 293 companies, not countries, companies, 293 companies have already implemented SAP. So you can see your prospects, future prospects in your career, that gradually you are, even if you don't want, you have to learn SAP, otherwise your future will not be there. So you must learn SAP. So why I'm giving all these statistics is that SAP is now all over. Without SAP, it is very difficult to build up your career. You can, and I'm not saying that you will not be able to build up your career, but to have a very good career, future career, you must learn SAP. So it will also open up your prospects, not only in India, in outside world also. Don't think that India, I'm not getting a job in India. So if you have prospects in other countries, you can move. You have to be mobile then, you have to go there, right? But you, not that you will not get a job, you will get a job. Okay, so you have to learn SAP as well as become proficient in SAP. Practice it and then become proficient. Okay, that is all about SAP's statistics. Now coming to SAP. What is SAP? Anybody? Anybody learned? Anybody read somewhere something about SAP? What is SAP? Anybody?
So SAP is a software, sir, system application and products and data application server.
It is
It's
a
a
server
ERP
or
system,
what?
sir.
It is a server? It is
It
not
is
a
a
server.
ERP system, sir.
It's a ERP system. Okay. Uh, okay, then I will further ask you questions. What is ERP then?
ERP is that's full form is enterprise resource planning. It's a software, sir.
Hmm.
Where
If
we
ERP is
maintain.
a software, what is SAP? You are saying ERP is a software. So then what is SAP?
SAP coming under ERP actually.
Coming under ERP. Now, what do you mean by this coming under ERP?
Actually, SAP is a system.
What ERP does? What ERP does? Can anybody say what ERP does?
So, data management software, sir. ERP and SAP both are data management software for every company.
See, what ERP does is it is hidden in its name itself. When I say ERP, it means, as you said, enterprise resource planning. Correct? So what do you mean by the resources of any business organization? What are the resources? See, resources are materials. Resources are men, people. Resources are machines. Okay? Okay?
Okay,
Machine.
sir.
Okay,
Then
sir.
you have the methods to produce, processes to produce. Okay. Then you have the marketing. You have to market the product. What else? One thing I have deliberately skipped. What is that? Very important.
Finance.
Can anybody see?
Finance.
Finance. Very good. This is money.
Money.
Without money, even you cannot start your business.
Yes,
Forget
sir.
about materials, men, machines. You need money first. Then only you will be able to buy all this. Correct? Okay. Then money is then. And then finally, to oversee all this, you need a group of people who will manage all this. And that is management.
Yeah, management.
Management is nothing but a group of people, or can be a single person who manages all these things, because you know you will have these things, but you have to utilize these things properly. Correct? For proper utilization, you need some people, some group of people, not these people. These people are the working people. Okay. You need some people, the head of the organizations, who will oversee their workings, their utilization, and see that, monitor that these are being properly used. So these are actually the resources of any business organization, and that is why it is called 7Ms. You see, these are all 7M, starting with M, 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 M. 7Ms. 7Ms are the resources of any organization, whether it's small, big, medium. You will find more or less these are the resources in any organization. Correct. So ERP, that is the middle word, ERP, R. Resources means all these things. So what ERP does is it manage the resources of an organization. How? It manages by integrating the various functions, processes, and services which are needed to run the organization. It integrates. So this is ERP is nothing but a software application. It's a software application. And since SAP is also doing the same thing, Oracle is also doing the same thing. They are managing the resources of an organization by integrating the various functions and processes and services. That is why we call it SAP ERP, Oracle ERP, JD Edwards ERP, Ramico ERP. These are various softwares that are available in the market today. Even at a lower level, Tally is also an ERP, because Tally also manages these resources, not so effectively like SAP or Oracle, but it manages to some extent. Here the level of integration is very low and small. That's why Tally is not that popular in bigger organizations, because SAP can manage all your resources at the same point of time. And that is why SAP is one of the well accepted ERP today in the market. Correct? So if somebody asks you why all the softwares have ERP as a suffix, so your answer is very clear. The ERP manages the resources of any organization by integrating the various functions, various processes, various services that are needed to run a company. So what is the central point in this ERP? How it manages, how it integrates, how it plans. ERP also says P for planning, what it plans, how it does. So what is that central thing, nodal thing which is doing all these things? Can anybody say? What is that? ERP is a software.
Data.
Yes.
Data.
Database.
Database.
It is through database only you are doing all these things. Today, if you are planning, on what basis you are planning? Based on data. Today you are controlling. On what basis you are controlling? Data. Otherwise, if I say you are controlling, sir, what are you controlling? If I ask you, you will not be able to answer anything. You will say, sir, I am controlling my department. Then I will further ask you, what are you controlling in your department? Sir, I am controlling my cost. Then further I will ask you, how you know what is your cost? Then the question answer is there, data. Correct. So ultimately your answer will be data everywhere. If you want to plan something, what are you planning? Sir, I am planning my sales for the next year. How are you planning? Sir, I have collected some information from the market that this product is going to come in the market and people will demand this product. On what basis you are saying this? Data, isn't it? So Talk anything is based on data. So similarly, for any organization, for each and every function in the organization, you need data. And that database is provided by all these software applications which are available in the market. And the prominent one is SAP. Oracle is also there. They do the same function. That is also an ERP software. Tally is also an ERP software. JD Edwards is also an ERP software. All are softwares, but its acceptability is not that much. I mean, as compared to SAP, the SAP is a well acclaimed, well accepted ERP software today in the market. And that's why more and more companies are going for it. More and more companies are implementing it. Okay. That's about ERP. So SAP is a ERP software application, and that's why we call it SAP.ERP. So let us go to background of SAP now. Now SAP is the company name. The company name is SAP AG in Germany. It was formed in the year 1972. Very important year for SAP. Now, how you pronounce this? Sometimes you call it SAP AG, but in Germany, in German language, it is not pronounced as SAP AG. It is pronounced as SAP AG. It's their language, you know. They pronounce it like this. So how you pronounce it? I mean, these are some, things, small things, but you must know, because when you are learning a new skill, new knowledge module, you must know the background of it also. Then your knowledge becomes complete. Okay. Simply jumping into SAP is not going to serve. You must know the background of SAP also. So SAP AG, you pronounce it as AG. It is nothing but, in India we call it, suppose X Limited, Y Limited, Reliance Limited, Tata Limited. In Germany it is AG. That is as per their laws of land. की कंपनीज एक्ट उनकी जो लॉ है उसके हिसाब से वो एजी कहा जाता है, एंड दैट इज नॉट एजी, इट इज प्रोनाउंस्ड एज एगे, एसएपी एगे. Correct? It was formed in the year 1972 by 5 IT professionals of IBM company. In those days, IBM was the #1 software generating company in the world. Even today, you will find IBM is still there, but many other companies have superseded IBM. But in 1972 or prior to 1972, IBM was one of the well-known companies in the world. Correct? So there were 5 professionals who were working in IBM. They, with their hard work, they formed this software application and brought it into the market in the year 1972. Okay. And this company is situated, its headquarters is in one small village in Germany, but their village is like a beautiful city of any. It's a village, but it's a very beautiful village. So it is equivalent to a very big city, and this is called Waldorf. Waldorf is a city, or rather a village in Germany. It's very near to the Frankfurt airport. It is almost a 1.5 hours journey from Frankfurt airport. Waldorf is the place where their SAP company's headquarters is there. It is employing almost 86,000 people. 86,000 people are working in SAP company all over the world. not only in Germany, various places in the world. Various their offices, their sales offices, their marketing offices, their contact offices. SAP is all over the world. So 86,000 people are working in SAP. 86,000. Okay. And the latest figure about the revenue which they have earned is $38.3 billion revenue. 38.3 billion dollars. Now, in terms of revenue, you must be saying that okay, Apple, Google are much more than this. But yes, Apple, Google having much more bigger numbers in terms of revenue. But see, company-wise, SAP is very small. These Apple and Google companies are very big. So in terms of if the size of the company is small and the revenue is 38.3, then that means it's a great thing. Okay. So Apple, Google are very big companies. SAP is not that big, but their performance-wise, they are very big company. Okay, so $38.3 billion is their revenue. Right? Now coming to SAP, meaning S is systems, A is applications, and P is products in data processing. Now that is the full form of SAP. So don't ever stop by saying systems, application, products. You have to complete your sentence like systems, applications, and products in data processing. That is called SAP. So as I said, it was formed in the year 1972, and the first version of the software of SAP came in the year 1972, and that was called R/1. SAP R/1. Now, what does it mean? R means real time, and 1 means only one server, single server. So in those days, it was the database server. You have to keep one server in your premises, and there you will be inputting your data, and whatever output you want, you will be retrieving the data from the server. So single server. And that server is called database server. But this system, that is R/1 system, continues till 1979. There were problems. It's not that SAP was successful in the very beginning. No. They found a solution that they were able to integrate the various functions of the business. What are the various functions of the business? Anybody can say. What are the various functions? If I ask you what are the various functions of a business organization, what will be your answer? Yeah, anybody? Yeah, what happened?
So
Nobody?
can I say sales is a function, matlab inventory management it's a function, plant maintenance is a function. Can I say this is the function of business? Finance is a function.
No, are you
Finance and
asking me or you're answering? What is your, I have asked you what are the functions of a business? All the functions of a business and centralizing the centralizing the common data server. Yes, you are on the right track. In any business organization, there are few functions which are almost in all organizations. One is, what is that? We will have production as a function. Then you have production planning as a function. Then you have finance is a function. You have HR as a function. You have sales and marketing as a function. Right? You have materials management, which is called inventory management, is a function. You have few others, plant maintenance is a function. Right? And there are many others. I'm just counting very important functions. Production, finance, HR, sales, materials, plant maintenance. Okay. So these are some of the important functions. So what SAP does is that they have integrated these functions and stored their common data into this single server database. Right? This single server. All this in the real life, all these departments, all these functions need to communicate each other very frequently, as well as all these functions need their each other's data. Production needs their data from materials. Production needs their data from plant maintenance. Production needs data from finance. Material needs data from finance. Material data needs from HR. Production needs from HR. So you see every time, each and every second, each and every minute, each of the departments need data. Each need data from each other. It is not that production will say, no, 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 I don't need any data from you. I will run independently. It can never happen. Similarly, finance cannot function unless it has got data of production, unless it has got of sales, unless it has got an HR, unless finance cannot run. Yeah, you appreciate this? Can you run without depending on other departments information? You cannot, not possible. And in today's scenario, it is not at all possible. So each of these functions, or rather each of these departments, will be communicating with each other and will be requiring their respective data in some point in time. So if unless there is a single database server, a common platform, then what will happen? Each department's, each function's data information will remain with them. It cannot be shared with others. That is why there was a time, once upon a time, I don't know whether you were born at that time or not. Whenever the companies were running, it is not that companies were running on those days. They were running very well. But there were a time when even till 90s also, suppose the managing director of the company calls a meeting and asks the, say, sales and marketing head that tell me the figure of sales for the month of November. I'm just giving an example. Okay. So what happened? The sales and marketing head will give some figure, say 1 crore. My sale is 1 crore in the month of November. Now, when the managing director verifies the figure with the finance said, no, sir, the figure is 95 lakhs. Okay. Then he further verifies it to the production. Production will listen, नहीं, मैंने तो इतना बनाया ही नहीं, इतना सेल कैसे हो गया? Then he will further verifies with material management. He says that, sir, मेरे हिसाब से तो इतना मटेरियल आया था और इतना मटेरियल गया, तो मेरे ख्याल से तो 1 करोड़ 5 लाख होनी चाहिए. So why it is happening? Because each department is working individually. Each department is using their own database, not the common database. And that's why there are differences in the data. This was the scenario. Even late 90s also this was the scenario. Why? Because in Indian companies I'm talking, because there were no SAP system, there were no common database, common data platform was there in India. In some countries like US, UK, they have implemented SAP long back. But in India, it came very late. It came in India probably in the year 1999, 2000, not before that. Okay, so this was the scenario. So that problem is over once this common database thing was implemented by SAP in the year 1972. But what the problem was with SAP was that this common database server was that this server has to be kept inside some office, inside some building, isn't it? And for inputting the data and outputting the data, people have to come to that building, come to that premise. And then only they can input the data and take the output of the data. Sitting at home or sitting in some other place is not possible. Mind it, in those days there were no internet. 1972, no internet. Okay, so even those pen drive system was also not there in those days. कि मैं यहाँ से कोई डाटा कॉपी करके मैं अपनी ऑफिस चला जाऊं और वहां पे बैठ के काम करूं, that was also not possible because there was no such things. These gadgets were not available in those days. So people have to come down to that particular office premise building where this server is kept. So this was a problem. So problem is like, suppose your office in your Kolkata, your head office, and your branch offices are in Chennai, Mumbai, and say Bangalore. Then that means people working in Mumbai, Chennai, and Bangalore office, they have to come down to Kolkata to, input the data and retrieve the data. Because in those days there were no system of, transmitting the information. Not possible. Today you can see, अरे ये कौन सी बात है यार, ये तो बहुत आसान है. No, in those days it was not that easy. 1972, forget about. You were not born even, I think, in those days. In those days, it was not possible. No internet, no electronic gadgets available to transmit the data, and such a vast data. Telegram वगैरह करके data थोड़ी transfer हो सकता है. In those days, Telegram was there. Big data, huge data. Today, in the just fraction of a second, you are transmitting the data from your mobile to another mobile. In those days, it was not possible. Okay, so that was the difficulty. The people have to come down to this place to input the data and take the output. So this problem was persisting till 1979 when they devised another way out, and they devised R/2, which is nothing but two servers. What are these two servers? One is database servers, which is already there, plus application servers. So what will happen? Suppose you have an office here, Kolkata. Central database server will be kept in Kolkata office. Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore office will have application servers. So what will happen? The people who are working in Mumbai, Chennai, and Bangalore, they will come to their offices there in Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore. There they will come and do the inputting and outputting. And since application data is connected with database server, that will be stored in the application server, in the database server, right? Now, how it will be saved? Through other electronic gadgets. By that time, many electronic gadgets have come. Okay, so through that you can transfer the data from application server to database server. But even then, the problem was not solved because again, the people of Mumbai, Chennai, Mumbai have to come to their offices in Mumbai, Chennai, Bangalore. Again, because in 1979 there was no internet. So sitting some in at your home or sitting somewhere, you cannot do the work. So this problem was still there till 1991, when for the first time internet came. Internet came for the first time in the world in 1991, when they devised the system R/3. Three servers. And what are those three servers? One is database server plus application server plus presentation server. So what is this presentation server now? Presentation server is now the server which you are having at present. अभी आपके पास जैसे प्रैक्टिस सर्वर मिलेगा या मैं आपको SAP से करवाऊंगा जो भी है सर्वर से, that is presentation server. That means sitting in my home or sitting on the top of the mountain, sitting in the jungle also you can run SAP provided internet is there. So you will input and output data in your system, in your laptop, in your computer, and can store the data to the central database server through application server. And whenever you want to retrieve the data, you will again put a transaction code. The database server will transmit the data to the application server, and application server will further transmit the data to the presentation server, and you can retrieve the data. So inflow and outflow will continuously flow. So data will flow from this place to this place to this place. Again, when you input the data, data will flow from this place to this place to this place, to and fro. When it is inputting, you are inputting here, correct? You are inputting here right now. So data will get stored to here via application server. Similarly, when you want to retrieve the data, you will put a transaction code. The transaction code via application server will reach to database server. Database server will process the data. Further, it will send back to application server, and application server will give back to presentation server. And in the monitor, you can see the retrieved data. So this is how inputting and outputting is happening right now. So that is why it is called R3 structure. R3 means three servers: database, application, and presentation. So sometimes you are asked in interviews also, what is the SAP architecture? So you will say your answer will be it's a three-tier system. The SAP ECC has got three-tier system, which is database server, application server, and presentation server. Now today, if I want to show you the presentation server, this is nothing but this is presentation server. Can you see? Everybody can see this icon. This is
Yes, sir.
the SAP logon. So the
Yes.
moment it is on your laptop, on your computer, that means SAP has been installed into your system. Without this, there is no SAP. If it is there, that means SAP is installed in your system. And it is across the world. Wherever you go, this is the icon, SAP. Okay. So this is nothing, but this is the presentation server. The moment I log in, you see, I'm logging in. And this presentation is server is called SAP GUI, Graphical User Interface. Okay. So if I log in, yeah, I will show you there is an application server in between. Can you see that application server here? So this is the
Yes,
application
sir.
server IP. And the database server is with SAP or SAP partners, whosoever is SAP partners. That we cannot see. So whatever I am inputting via this application server, it goes to database server and gets stored. And similarly, at the same time, if I want to retrieve that information, I will put some transaction code. It will go here. It will transmit to database server. Database server will process the data, send it back to application server, and application data will go to presentation server. And then I will log on, and I can see my retrieved information. That's how SAP is functioning right now. SAP ECC. Okay, correct. So this is application server. So I am connected to this application server. Application server is anyway connected to the database server. So virtually I am connected with the database server. But I cannot see the database. Correct. So this is about SAP functioning. How in general we are not technical people. We need not know more beyond this, because that is part of the technical consultants, technical, those who want to do technical SAP. For them it is useful. Otherwise, we need not know all these things beyond. I mean, it's just to have an overview. I have explained how it works, but you need not go to very detail into it. Okay, so three-tier architecture system, SAP ECC has three-tier architecture architecture. SAP has three-tier architecture system. So there's a very common interview questions often asked. What's the SAP ECC architecture system? You have to say three-tier architecture system, and that three-tier means this. Okay. Right. So now coming to your SAP proper. So when I log on to SAP, the moment I log on to SAP, how it looks like. So if I log on to SAP, as I said, I will log on. So I can see four things here. One is client, one is user, one is password, one is logon language. Now what is this client means? Client is a space provided to you. I mean, just to make you understand. I mean, sometimes you will not be able to understand what is this client is. Client is basically a slot provided to you in SAP. And in this slot, you can do developmental activities, you can do testing activities, you can do the production activities. Now, what does it mean? Development means you can configure and customize. Whatever is your requirement, you can configure and you can customize. Similarly, in the quality, once you customize the thing, once you configure the things, you test it. For that, there is a quality server, and then there is a production server where you actually do the work. So the end users like you and me will be doing in production servers. Now you will be seeing where are those servers? They are in this only. So the slot which has been provided to you, giving some name, okay, say 400, 800, 810, these are nothing but servers wherein you will have compartments. Part of it will be development, part of it will be quality, and part of it will be production. So right now, whatever we are doing is in this, we are in the development server. End user servers will be in some other. Here itself we will have the end user or the production server. So suppose the slot which is provided is named as 400. It's not that 400 is only one only one slot. There are so many others, but we have been provided with 400. Then once you enter into this server, into this slot, you will be asked about your identity. Who are you to enter into this client, server, slot? So you have to put some user ID. I am putting my user ID, this. Then, like any other software application, they will be asking some password. Okay. Right, like when you enter into a hotel, will you be able to enter straight away into your room? You cannot, because there is a key. Unless you have the key, you will not be able to enter inside the room. You can enter the hotel through the main gate. You can go to the lounge and you can sit in the reception. But will you be enter into a hotel room? No, because you don't have the key. So this is the key. This is the key. So you, me, everybody can enter here by using this, right, identity. But final check-in will be with the help of a key, and that is the password. And so this password has to be kept very secret. It in the real-time scenario, it should not be shared, because if you share your password with every Tom, Dicky, and Harry, then you will be in trouble. Okay, so in real-time scenario, will not be sharing your password, your credentials with anybody, not even the user ID. User ID even can be shared, but password should not be shared, right? Because this user ID normally in real time also, one user ID can be allotted to many users, but passwords has to be different in real time. I'm talking. We are not in real time, we are in training mode. So here it is not that important. We can share our user IDs and all, but in real time, nobody should share his password and user IDs. That is to be kept very sacrosanct. Okay. Then I will put my this thing. Okay, let me this thing. I'll describe this also. Log on language. See here it is. So SAP, since is asking for language, that means SAP is also available in many languages. It is available in German. It is available in French. It is available in Hindi. It is available in Hindi even. Okay, so there are so many languages in the world where SAP has been transcribed and SAP is applicable. So, but anyways, we will be doing in English only. So we will put English and we will put my password. So this screen is opened. This screen gets opened. Now this is called SAP Easy Access screen. Okay. So can anybody see the screen? Everybody is seeing the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So can anybody say how many bars are there in this screen? If you must have worked in Excel and all. So there are bars, no?
6, sir.
Which are those 6?
Menu, edit, favorite, extra, system, and help.
So what is this bar called? What is this bar called? This is called menu bar.
Menu.
So this one is called what is this called? This bar.
Toolbar, sir.
And what is this called?
Title bar.
And what is this?
Bookmark.
Bookmark. This bookmark. And what is this called? This. What is this called? Can you see the blue mark and all this? Something is written, favorites and all. What is this called? And what is this called? Last one. So this is menu bar. This is standard toolbar. This is title bar. This is application toolbar, and this is called work area. The entire work area. And the last one is called status bar. Okay. So the end users work in this screen, SAP Easy Access screen. Now in this Easy Access screen, there are so many as a menu bar. It need not be explained. These are all self-explanatory. Some standard toolbars are also self-explanatory. Like if I go here, you see, it says log off. If I go here, it says enter. Okay. If I go here, it is print, find, advanced finds, advanced search, then first page, previous page, next page, last page, create new sessions. So there is all, whenever you keep your cursor on some icon, the system itself will say what is this. Okay, so it is self-explanatory, no need of explaining it further. Okay, and this is the title bar. This bar gets changed whenever I go to some other screen. This screen will get changed. Like if I put some, suppose I'm putting some transaction code. Okay, you see this title bar gets changed. So title bar is nothing but it indicates the screen on which you are at present. आप किस स्क्रीन पे अभी हो फिलहाल currently, उस स्क्रीन का नाम वो बताता है. So now you are in the enter vendor invoice screen. Okay, suppose I change it. Now suppose I want to go to another screen. See, post outgoing payments. So the title bar gets changed as and when you move on to some different screens, right? So this is the application toolbar. Like you want to change your data, you want to go to some other mode, application, some other module. All these are there. Okay, so now having said this, there is another screen wherein the consultants work, and that is called the SPRO screen or IMG screen, we call it. So SAP Easy Access screen is for SAP end users. and SAP IMG screen is for consultants. SAP IMG screen is for consultants. So IMG means implementation guide. Okay, and to enter into this IMG screen, you have to go through SPRO. The gateway of SAP is SPRO. SPRO, which is nothing but SAP project reference object. This is the gateway of IMG screen. Like if I go to SAP and this is your end user view screen. So if I put it here SPRO, so you see reference IMG. So you have to click this. Now you into the IMG screen. So here we will not be working. We will working in the SAP Easy Access screen. Here consultants normally work. Normally means they have to create, implement project in this screen. Okay, so we will have a few glimpse of consultants, not the entire job. Consultants job is very big job. We will not be doing consultants course here. We will be doing the end users and power users course. So we will be using very limited version of this just to have some overview knowledge. We'll be doing this. Otherwise, normally we will not be doing this screen. We'll be doing in that SAP Easy Access screen. Correct? So now, regarding the use of these, or in one word you call the navigation, as and when we move, we will see what is the use of each and every. You will come to know automatically. So what is the use of this? What is the use of this? What is the use of this? Like one more important thing is here, this section, one small rectangular space you can see. This is nothing, this is called command bar. Command bar is very important here in this standard toolbar, wherein you will put all the transaction codes. And the transaction codes are nothing, but they are the instructions to SAP to perform certain functions. These are normally they are 4-digit codes, but they can be bigger than that, but majority of them are 4-digit codes. Okay, so transaction codes are instructions to SAP. We will put, like if I put F-53, this is a transaction code. Similarly, if I put MM01, this is a transaction. We will come to know about this. I mean, it is too early to tell you all about this, but these are called transaction codes. Okay, you are instructing SAP to do some certain functions, and that is called transaction codes. So these transaction codes are put in this to command bar. This is very important, command bar. Okay, and to enter any data after you write something, and you, like in our other softwares and other applications, you have something called entering. So entering is this button, enter, green tick, or else you can enter in your system, computer or laptop. You have some enter button, isn't it? That enter button will also serve the same purpose. So either you enter that button or you click this button, one and the same. SAP accepts the enter button of your system also. The enter button which you have in your laptop or in your computer, same enter button is also accepted by SAP. Or else you can click this one. Okay. Now coming down to this part, SAP menu. These are nothing but these are the various modules of SAP. Like if you are from FICO, your module is this. If you are from HR, your module is this. If you are from logistics, your modules will be this, like materials management, sales distribution, production, production planning, okay, all this quality management. See, so many modules are there in the logistics. So all the modules for the end users are there in this bucket, SAP menu, right? So we will expand this and we will learn as we progress on this and see what are the various uses and applications of the various the transaction codes in respective modules. Suppose if you somebody says I'm from MM or somebody says I'm SD, so you have to go to this module SD, right? Somebody says I am from material management, so you have to go to this modules. So we'll learn one by one because it will be too early to say something about this. So this is what is for the various modules in SAP. Okay, so as I said in the beginning, that the various functions of SAP, these are the functions of the organization. For each such function, you have got a separate module designed for you by SAP. Okay, so like finance has got a FICO module. HR has got a HCM module, is human capital management. Okay, then FICO means finance and controlling. And controlling. It is called FICO. Okay, sales. We have got SD, sales and distribution. Then materials management is called MM. Same. Plant maintenance, PM. Production planning, PP. So PP, FICO, HCM, SD, MM, and PM. Okay, so this is these are the various modules which are available in SAP. So function wise, SAP has designed the modules. This is very beauty of this SAP is that they have designed the various modules according to the functions of the organization. And another beauty is that all these modules are interrelated, integrated. If you do something here, it will be affected either here or here or here or somewhere. Similarly, if you do something here, it will automatically get affected here. So they are integrated. They are integrated. So that is the beauty, and that is why it is called the common database server. With this integration, the common database, if I put something input here, it will get stored in the common database server and everybody can see it. Similarly, if somebody here does something, everybody can see it. That is the beauty of SAP. Okay, so how SAP functions through integration of different modules is through a common database server. Right now, coming to one important thing here is that to do transactions, to do business in SAP, you need to develop, you need to create an enterprise structure, isn't it? So when you transact something, जब आप कोई ट्रांजैक्शन करेंगे, ट्रांजैक्शन कहाँ के लिए करेंगे और किसके लिए करेंगे? आप ये करेंगे किसी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए, किसी कंपनी के लिए, किसी डिपार्टमेंट के लिए. So I have to create all those organizations, all those departments. Then only I will be able to do some transactions in SAP. So that is what is called enterprise structure in SAP. Enterprise structure in SAP. So first is your company. Then you have your company code. Then you have your plant. Then you have your storage locations. Then you have your various organizations like purchase organizations. Then you have your sales organizations. Then you have got your shipping points. Shipping points means from where the materials is loaded and where the material is unloaded. Loaded for selling the material to outsiders, and unloading happens when you purchase some raw material, or that is called shipping points. Okay, so all these major structures you have to configure and create in the system, and this job is done by consultant. But being an SAP beginner, we must know how it is created, so that will be in a part of our current curriculum. So we will know how to create a company, how to create a company code, plant, storage location, purchase organization, sales organizations, shipping points. All these we need to know. Because without creating all this, you will not be able to do any transaction in the system. क्योंकि आप जैसी बिजनेस में काम करेंगे, तो बिजनेस तो पहले होना चाहिए ना, उस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन तो पहले होनी चाहिए, नहीं तो कहाँ काम करेंगे? तो पहले वो कंपनी कोड और ये सारी एंटरप्राइज स्ट्रक्चर की जो फिर और यूनिट्स हैं, you can call it as various units or organization units, सबको मिला के ही एंटरप्राइज स्ट्रक्चर बनती है ऑफिस, राइट? सो वो हम एक एक करके क्रिएट करेंगे और देखेंगे सिस्टम में कि इसको कैसे क्रिएट करते हैं. तो यहाँ से हमारा एक्चुअली एसीपी का कोर्स शुरू होगा, ये क्रिएशन पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से, राइट? So how to create these companies, we will learn. So will you be available in the next session also? Your timing is what? In the next session also you are there? Or in some other timings have been given to you?
No, sir. They will be in this session only for another 2 weeks. Then we'll put them in their respective module classes.
Respective models, so 2 sessions. So, okay, then these configurations and creation of the company will be taking up as a fresh class, because we'll start in the next session. Okay.
Yes, sir. By that time, they will get their server also, so it will be easy for them actually.
Understood. So I hope you have understood the background of SAP, the need to learn SAP, why it is very important to learn SAP in today's world. Okay, and what is the background of SAP company, SAP software as such, how it functions. See, you need not go into very details, technicalities you need not know. I'm telling you, don't go into very technicalities, because we are not technical consultants or technical end users. We are commercial end users. So we should know only that much. So some people make mistakes. They go very deep into it. Don't go into deep into it because that is not your domain, not your area. For them, there are other people. Consultants are there, technical consultants are there, administrative consultants are there. They handle all these things. Some I have come across with some students who are going deep into it. Don't go. I'm telling you, you will get lost there. You will not learn your way. Instead, you will be into very deep into it, and you will be lost. So I suggest whatever I'm telling you, only restrict yourself to that. If I say this configuration is required for you, you learn that configuration. Don't again go beyond this, sir. How it's coming, why it is coming. It is not your domain. It is for consultant. Because if I start doing that, then your main curriculum will be lost and you will be in some other path. Okay, this is advice, piece of advice I am giving you. Why I am giving you is that I know some students do like this. That is why some students are in habit of doing this. That's why I caution you that please, please, please don't go into technical details of SAP. That is not your domain, right? You learn how to use this as an end user, as a power user. That's all. Correct? So we will meet in the next class, which is today or what time, ma'am? What is that? Today's time, no? Or
Same time.
Same time next Sunday, huh? Same time? Hello?
So
Huh?
same time next week. Same time next week, sir.
Next week. Same
Right,
time
sir.
Sunday or next week?
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah. Some coming
Okay.
Sunday.
Coming Sunday. So just culture in your when you sitting idle or sitting in some other mood, whatever you have learned today, and then imbibe it into your head, because now from today onwards you will be a SAP uh, skill set owner. So when you talk to an outsider, you should talk in that sense. You should not talk like a layman's language. Right. This is my another request to all of you, because uh, you learn and then you appear for an interview and you are not able to answer properly very basic questions like whatever I have taught you today. Then it creates a very bad impression, and the bad impression for us also, because we are the training imparting institute. So you should talk in a very professional language. Professional means SAP professional language. Okay. तो जैसे आप बोलते हैं सर ये क्या हुआ, ये छोटा सा आइकॉन क्या है, डोंट टॉक लाइक दिस, टॉक इन एसएपी लैंग्वेज. इस आइकॉन का कोई मतलब है, इस आइकॉन का नाम आपको पता होना चाहिए, ये स्क्रीन का नाम आपको पता होना चाहिए. ओके, ये नेविगेशन का पाथ आपको पता होना चाहिए. ओके, सो आई रिक्वेस्ट यू to be very smart enough to answer, whether you are working in some organization or you are appearing for in some interview, right? So don't like, nobody will teach you like what are these bars I have told you: menu bar, standard toolbar, application toolbar. Because suppose you are talking with some consultant, suppose just example, in your organization itself you are talking with some SAP consultant. Now suppose you are in some trouble, you are not able to solve the problem. Okay, now you are calling a consultant, yes sir, I have facing this problem. Okay, then immediately he may ask you, where are you now, means on the screen where are you. Then आप कैसे बोलोगे, सर मैं ये जो टॉप वाला लाइन है ना, ये सफेद सा दिख रहा है ना, ये काला सा दिख रहा है, ये ब्लू सा दिख रहा है. Never talk like this, because this talks about very bad about you. You know, you have learned SAP and you're talking like this. So learn what are these, like I said. तो आप बोलोगे क्या कि मैं अभी एप्लीकेशन टूल बार पे हूँ, या मैं मेनू बार पे हूँ, मैं वर्क एरिया में हूँ. you will talk like this. Okay, so this is very, very important. I'm telling you, very, very important. So this is the very first day. That's why I'm cautioning you that थोड़ा SAP smart type answer देना, not like layman's language कि मैं इधर हूँ इस स्क्रीन में हूँ. आपको बताना होगा कि मैं कौन सी ट्रांजैक्शन बार में हूँ, कमांड बार में हूँ, मैं ये ट्रांजैक्शन कोड यूज कर रहा हूँ, राइट? सो दिस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. Correct. So that's all for today. We'll meet on next Sunday. Okay.
Okay, thank you so
Okay,
much.
sir. Thank you, sir.
How was the session, first of all?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes, sir, it
Sir,
was
nice.
good.
Very nice.
It was good.
Yes, sir.
Nice,
Yes,
very
sir.
nice, or very, very nice?
Yeah.
Very,
Very,
very
very
nice,
nice.
sir.
Very
Okay. Because okay, fine. Thank you.
Okay, so thank you so
Thank you,
much.
sir.
Then we
Thank you very much.
okay.